Good afternoon, everybody. I was invited by the conference committee to give a little bit of perspective on tree selection for Eastern Oregon. So Grande is in the northeast corner of Oregon. It's the largest city in the Grande Valley. We have a population of 13,000. We're surrounded by the Blue Mountains. And the Grande Valley was the historic summer home of the Nez Perce, the Cayuse, the Umatilla, the Walla Walla, and the Shoshone tribes. So we don't have native ash trees in Eastern Oregon. All of our ash trees have been planted in developed areas as shade trees or ornamentals. We have about 6,000 now trees in our public tree inventory. 500 of those are ash trees, many more on private property, primarily white ash, green ash, and European ash. Ash species were officially removed from our recommended street tree list in 2019. We're currently compiling a list of high-value ash trees that may be targeted for treatment when EAV is found in Union County. And because, like some other cities, about 30% of our public trees are maples. We have a lot of Norway maple, silver maple, red maple. So we've been working for several years to increase the diversity of trees in LaGrande's urban forest. We've also been monitoring the performance of different species in different growing conditions. And so this has kind of given us an opportunity to use this information to help guide us when the time comes to select replacement trees for those ash trees that have to be removed. So when researching suitable trees for our area, we first look at climate and soil. Our average rainfall in LaGrande is around 18 inches. The climate is characterized by warm, dry summers, cold, snowy winters. We have a pretty wide variety of soil conditions, ranging from really lovely, sandy, loamy soils in the drainage basin of the Grand Ronde River to really nasty clay soil in the South Foothills. And a lot of our soils are on the alkaline side, it's especially sad. The potential for losing our ash trees is that they tolerate these less than ideal soil conditions. And up to now, they've been very resilient urban trees in Eastern Oregon. So with tree diversity being a major goal of our planting program, we've tried to source as many different genera and species as possible. Because historically we have very few oak trees in LaGrande, we've added several species: white oak, Quercus alba; swamp white oak, Quercus bicolor; shingle oak, Quercus imbricaria; bur oak, Quercus macrocarpa; chinkapin oak, Quercus muhlenbergii; and of course now I found out that the Mediterranean oak borer's been found in Oregon. So fortunately, we have been planting a lot of other trees. I especially like the Macchia. They've been a really great performer where we have limitations on the size of the tree we can plant. Other ones we've been planting recently are river birch, Betula nigra, the European hornbeam, Carpinus betulus, and I can attest to it. It's been a great performing tree as a street tree. Hackberry, that's Celtis occidentalis. Hardy rubber tree is one of the newer trees we've been trying, and we've been really happy with the way it's been performing as a street tree. Where we have room, we've been planting European beech, Fagus sylvatica, and various ginkgo cultivars. We've been trying some Kentucky coffee tree, Gemlocatus dioicus, and we've been really happy with the coffee tree, but they are kind of a slow performer. You have to be patient because they look like a stick for a long time. But we've had some in the ground now for probably 10 or 12 years, and they're really becoming beautiful trees. Hop hornbeam, Austria virginiana; London plane tree, the Platanus eserifolia; lindens, the Cordata americana tomentosa; a bunch of different varieties of elm trees because elms do especially well in our climate, and the Zelkova species. And so all of the trees that we've been planting, with the exception of the river birch, seem to tolerate our alkaline soils pretty well. The swamp white oak, the river birch, and the plane tree have exceeded expectation in areas where we have heavy clay and poor drainage. The one caveat I would make to that is one of the other panelists talked about resilience to storms. And up until last November, the plane trees had been like top of my list for trees in La Grande. We had an early snowstorm in November before the trees had lost their leaves, and it just decimated our plane trees. They were so sad. So it's still a wonderful tree, but just be aware that there's always something out there waiting to happen. So we currently have 43 genera in our public tree inventory, 133 species and multiple cultivars. So just final thoughts: do your research to learn as much as possible about a particular tree as you can. Experiment with underused species. As the climate shifts, species that weren't suitable in your area may become a good fit. I'm going to try some Nissel sylvatica just to see how they do. Monitor your new species and cultivars to track their performance, and above all, strive for diversity to boost the resilience of your urban forest. Thank you. We get quite a few of our tree from Schmidt. We recently have switched to bringing them in bare root and potting them and growing them there. But yeah, that is where, and I don't know of any cultivars for hackberry.
Prairie Sentinel is a columnar cultivar that we co-introduced with Kansas State University. Doesn't like this side of the Cascades all that well, but it really is a good performer. And the Magnifica is another cultivar. So pruning is pretty key to hackberries, getting good structure in the nursery, and then probably some structural pruning afterwards. And it's a great resilient tree. There's a little sugarberry over here that we're giving away. So if somebody wants to try that, that's another option.